Why do you want to be a trader? The traditional answer would be the money, the luxury life, the freedom, being your own boss, to prove something to yourself or others. But have you thought it through? I mean, really? Have you asked yourself, why do you want to be a trader? Because let me tell you from the perspective of someone who dedicated over a decade of his life to trading, none of your reasons is enough to be a trader. It's going to take more than what you have and longer than what you think. It's virtually impossible to become a consistently profitable trader. These were the last words on a note handwritten by one of the best traders of all time and the greatest bear on Wall Street. He was one of the very few who made it to the top of the financial success pyramid. But it didn't end well, just like it doesn't end well for many of us. Most people think money is the only measure of success and would do anything to earn as much money as possible. Trading is something that most beginners consider a way to make quick money, but it's like no other business. Lifestyle marketing in trading spaces has gone to the level that when someone tells you that they are a trader, you immediately think of loads of cash, supercars, champagnes, villas, and vacations on some Caribbean island. Well, it's not true. Let me tell you a story of what pursuit of financial success does to people. In 1923, seven men who had reached the top of the financial success pyramid met at Edgewater Hotel in Chicago. Collectively, they controlled more wealth than the entire United States Treasury. And for years, the media had held them up as examples of success. Who were they? Charles Schwab, president of the world's largest steel company; Arthur Cutten, the greatest wheat speculator of his day; Richard Whitney, president of the New York Stock Exchange; Albert Fall, a member of the president's cabinet; Jesse Livermore, the greatest bear on Wall Street; Leon Fraser, president of the International Bank of Settlement; and Ivan Kruger, the head of the world's largest monopoly. What happened to them? Schwab and Cotton both died broke. Whitney spent years of his life in penitentiary. Fall also spent years in prison but was released so he could die at home. The others, Livermore, Fraser and Kruger, committed suicide. Life is supposed to be hard as a whole. The idea that you can achieve anything easily is absurd because you cannot. If you want to be an engineer, doctor, or in fact any person with a skill, you spend years learning before you get a job. But there is no conventional education available to learn trading, and maybe this is the reason that many people think that anyone can open an account with a broker and make money. The ease of access to financial securities makes people delusional in thinking that they can learn to trade in a few months or a year. But it's one of the hardest skill to learn because to learn to trade, first you need to learn to think. Financial markets have this sarcastic way of humbling people because no matter how intelligent, cautious or superhuman you think you are, the markets will make you humble multiple times before you enter a somewhat linear upward trajectory. And even then, you are never sure how far you are going to go. This video series summarizes everything about trading that I would tell my younger self if I could go back in time. It's one of God's best jokes that it's easier to bet on crises and terrible things than to avoid or stop them. Financial markets represent the economic conditions, and therefore anything going around a particular region or industry will affect its fair price. Experienced traders and institutions take advantage of such events. When you hear about a natural disaster occurring in a certain region or an economic crisis or war or political instability, your human side makes you empathetic towards them, and a part of you will also think about how may you help them. In trading, it's completely opposite. In trading, your primary goal is to bypass that human emotion that compels you to be empathetic towards other humans stuck in a problem. Basically, you as a trader can bet on the suffering of others. You may think that the markets are always moving and consequently people make money all the time, which isn't far from the truth. But the big money or huge profits are always made during crises and terrible things. Normal people feel sorry when they hear about wars, earthquakes, tsunamis, famines, and economic or political instability. While traders see all these things as trading opportunities because these type of events move the markets quickly. No matter how badly you want to be a trader, remember not to get immune to this human emotion of empathy because you will lose your human side in this process. I'm gonna expand on this later. No one who wants to or has ever tried to climb on the financial pyramid of success has done it by ethical means because let me tell you, honesty, ethics, and empathy combined with hard work may only take you one step or two steps forward. But beyond that, you will have to be selfish enough to be able to hurt others both financially and physically, and lives won't matter to you. You will have to put your foot on many necks to climb the pyramid of financial success. And trading is a highly competitive and cutthroat business because one's profit is another one's loss. Therefore, trading will make you ruthless if you are not careful. You can compare this phenomena in other aspects of life as well. In the entertainment industry, people have to be part of pedo clubs or woke culture. In politics, people have to be ruthless and corrupt. And the same goes for big businesses. So first, ask your humane self, do you really want to climb that ladder of ultimate selfishness and ruthlessness? Or just go on the path of honesty and make as much money as you can along the way and be content with it? Because I asked myself this question a long time ago and I rejected the idea of becoming inhuman in pursuit of climbing this ladder of financial success. I just want to make sufficient money for me and my family without hurting anyone, and I'll expand on this when we get to the part of why I became a trader. The financial market is a hive mentality, has its own consciousness and reflects the psychology of all powerful participants combined and is controlled by the International Bank of Settlement. The market keeps moving and stalls only when the market makers decide on a fair price at any given time. You and I cannot decide the fair price, but if we are lucky enough to understand what the market makers consider the most fair price in near future, we can get on their side and make money. Remember this because there is no other way around. Market makers or institutions are the ones who move the markets, not us, and we as retail traders may only guess what the institutions are doing and follow their lead. I never want you to forget that. The market is not an individual, it's like a giant hive mind connected with billions of participants' brains. It's like this spiritual thing that has a mind and it reflects the collective psychology of millions of individuals at any given moment. There is no such thing as right or wrong in this game. You can take the stupidest trade and still make money. On the other hand, you can take the best possible trade in your opinion but lose the money. This simple fact is sufficient enough to say that trading is gambling. As much as you may like to brag, but you are not your own boss. When you are trading, the market is your boss and tells you what to do and when to do it. And if you fail to understand its commands, you don't get paid. Instead, you pay it back. When you are trading, you are betting on your opinions and best guesses. Trading educators or service providers try to fade or wake the concept of trading by saying that if you are managing risk, have a proper system and a bunch of other fancy jargons, you are trading and not gambling. But if you are not careful enough, considering the same factors, you are gambling. Well, I hate to break it to you that you are gambling in either way. Or else, why do you think that they use the word of speculation for trading, which actually means gambling? I know beginners don't want to accept the fact that they are gambling for a living. But the sooner you accept this, the better. Because even having the statistical proof of your winners in the past doesn't guarantee that same success ratio will be achievable in the future. It's just a probability derived from past data. It's not the word of God. As a trader, you buy something you don't get physically with the money you don't have from someone you don't know. To buy something, you need a seller. So how do you differentiate or assess the correctness of either one's opinion? Because essentially, both options, buying or selling, are opinions of the people standing against each other. So the conclusion is that we are facilitating each other's trades without being sure who is right. Before pulling the trigger, can you be sure who is right? Of course, you may interpret your opinion in terms of technical analysis or whatever, but we never really know for sure why something happens when it happens in the market. Even if you use the fancy language of trading and use the word of probability, that you are putting money on the line based on your strategy's winning probability, it's still gambling. And here is the best part about it. If it's gambling, then there is no way that the game is not rigged in favor of the house. The trading game is rigged in such a way that it's meant for you to lose at the end. The market doesn't care if you live or you die. It doesn't care if you make money or you lose money. It basically doesn't care about you at all. It's just there to do its thing, which is its upward or downward movement on the y-axis with respect to the time on the x-axis. There are individuals and institutions that have more knowledge, more experience, and more resources than us. They have information that is not publicly available. They know when a tsunami is going to hit a certain region. They know when there is a coup going to occur in certain country. They know what economy is running short of what mineral. They know when the central banks are going to increase or decrease the interest rates. They have the most sophisticated algorithms that can track and replicate the patterns from past decades. They have algorithms that can trade on high frequencies, which is not possible for humans, and they use that information to facilitate their own trades. So when any retail trader tells you that they trade like institutions or banks, they are lying to their teeth. A common perception about fundamental events is that they move the markets like their descriptions say in the fundamental calendar. For example, when a country increases its interest rates, the economy is doing well supposedly, which strengthens its currency. In reality, most of the time, when banks cut or hike their interest rates, the market moves against that general fundamental sentiment. To my understanding, economic events only act as catalysts for the existing market sentiments. So with all these factors combined, the game is designed for you to lose 99% of the time in your early years of trading. The 1% time when you are lucky enough to make money, you get so much adrenaline that you get hooked to the markets, thinking that you have figured it out, which is not the truth because your emotional ego ignores the fact of your luck in your eventual success. Your ego tells you that you are among the 5% who make money trading. During your early years in trading, you think that the money you lose in trading is just a cost of learning. The cost of learning this skill is not just the money you lose in trading. It's much more than that. It's a taboo subject, and people only talk about the money you lose in trading while you are learning or trying to find an edge. What about the mental aspect of trading? Has anyone told you how trading affects your mental health and social life? Well, let me tell you, you will constantly feel anxiety, depression, and frustration in this game, and nearly every trading decision will end up in some sort of regret. You will feel the anxiety and fear of missing out, depression after losing trades or losing streaks, and frustration after getting out earlier or later. And also, when your heart says this is what's gonna happen and it happens, yet you were not able to pull the trigger. Admit it or not, trading is the most uncomfortable job in the world. Everybody in this industry tells you to be an emotionless robot, which is a trait of psychopaths. So essentially, according to them, becoming a psychopath is okay to succeed. Anybody who says that once you master your psychology, you will not feel these things anymore is lying. Whether you have been trading for a few years or a decade, you will always feel these emotions during your trading. However, your reaction to these emotional challenges changes over time and you start feeling lighter at some point. But saying that you can completely eliminate these stress triggers from your trading is a lie. Full-time traders and entrepreneurs don't have a work-life balance. It's commonly said on social media that you can have a perfect balance in your life when you are trading as your primary career. You are your own boss. You can take XYZ amount of days off from the markets. You can enjoy A, B, C with your family, or you can go to the gym to work out for X amount of hours because the way your trading is going affects your mental health. Perhaps you are never interested in your social life or family or workout or whatever other hobbies you could have. Instead, you are only interested in making the money you lost in trading or compounding the money you have already made. Plus, bragging on social media to grab some clicks or likes for instant dopamine becomes your habit. It's because this game is so hard that you have to sacrifice each and every other aspect of your life to succeed. You don't need a very high IQ to figure out that only trading influencers have the privilege to create 50 hours of content on YouTube every month or spend a couple of hours every day on Twitter. No serious trader who has made any significant amount of money in this game will ever be interested in showing his strategy and how you can make money the way he did, how many supercars he has, how many passports he has, or how many private jets he has. It basically goes against the human psychology of money. Because if I have really made money from something which I know for a fact that I have made it from you, why would I tell you to do the opposite? Logically, I'll be only interested in misinforming you and making money from you repeatedly. Very few genuine traders have succeeded in this game and are present on social media, but you will never see them marketing their courses or mentorships. I have seen people crying when they have made a lot of money so quickly, and I have also seen people laughing when they have lost a lot of money. You may ask, why is the emotional response opposite of the trade outcome? Well, how your gut signals or warns you to do or not do something, the same way it has the capability to disturb your body when you are in a winning position or a trade in which the market is near your stop loss. You will feel like your heart or liver is about to jump out of your mouth, either in fear of hitting your stop loss or seeing the trade in profit turning back and taking you out. Everybody responds to this sort of emotional stress differently. Some people lose sleep or get diarrhea, nausea, constipation, dark circles, or pain in their back or neck. All these physical responses are because of the emotional triggers and stress you face while trading. Normally, you feel these types of reactions from your body in the worst times of your life while losing someone you love, losing a job, losing a fortune, losing a leg, getting paralyzed, or whatever the worst case scenario you could ever imagine. But it's funny that you feel and go through all these stress triggers on daily basis when you are a full-time trader. There will be many days when you will not want to talk to your spouse or friends or take your kids out or in fact do anything about self-improvement. In many cases, you will refuse to eat because you can't ingest anything. Anything you try to ingest tries to come out of your mouth right away. At some point, you will start second guessing every other thing in your life by paralyzing yourself in a constant state of disbelief. Because the number of times the market proves you wrong eliminates that part of cheap optimism from your brain to the point where you will not be able to enter trades. You will start blaming yourself for all the mess in your life, whether it's about trading or your personal life or any other aspect. And at the same time, when you win here and there, you start procrastinating a luxurious life. I don't know why people don't talk about these things. If you are not telling beginners about these things, you are doing an intellectual dishonesty and betraying your profession. If you ever become a mouthpiece on social media as a trader, I don't care if you are a real trader or just a trading influencer. You have to be vocal about these things and inform your audience that they are going to experience these things constantly if they choose to trade as their primary or full-time job. The things people say like, oh, if you lost a trade, go for a run, take your family out and try to divert your mind. That is not a very practical advice. You know, in real life, as a professional or full-time trader, you can't just do that. Maybe occasionally you will try these things, but eventually when the losing streaks start and the pains start kicking in, you stop caring about self-improvement. Sometimes you just can't, even if you want to drag yourself to do that self-improvement thing. I'm talking about these extra costs of trading because I have experienced these emotions for years, and what I have concluded is that you can never completely eliminate them from your trading. However, what you may learn over time is that you can reverse your psychology and use your gut feeling to find and execute trades, which is the path of a discretionary trader. Many traders like me combat their frustration and depression by constantly joking around and also by becoming completely antisocial. This is why I love to share so many memes and mental health jokes, primarily dark humor jokes, on Instagram. A normal person cannot comprehend the stress or the amount of the energy these markets drain from you when you spend 8 to 10 hours in front of the charts.